Hi, this is Angela from Brainer Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and I'm coming to you to do part 3 of our inflammatory food series. The one I'm going to talk about today is dairy products. Now, dairy products are inflammatory probably just as much as like sugar or gluten would be, almost second to gluten. So, very inflammatory for our systems in general. As much as 60% of Americans actually cannot digest milk. Some researchers even think that milk is abnormal to digest beyond infancy. So rather it being the other way around is us thinking that we need milk all the time. It can trigger some very inflammatory responses such as stomach upset, constipation, diarrhea, skin rashes, acne, hives, some breathing difficulties, gas. I mean, there's a lot of things that people that have a response to dairy, but sometimes they don't think of it as being the dairy itself that's causing it. So it can even show increased behaviors in children or adults with autism. So the presentation of those behaviors is definitely had a connection between having those dairy products for sure. Now, the two things that are most inflammatory for systems during or when consuming dairy, it's either two things. It's one of either the proteins in dairy, which is the casein or the whey, or the sugar, which is lactose. Two of those things. Milk, like most animal products in general, is acid forming for our systems, and our body likes to have this neutral pH balance. And so when we introduce this acidity or acidic product to our systems, our body gets more of the alkaline products from our body stores, such as the calcium, magnesium, and potassium that's in our bones. So it's actually pulling it away. So it actually, if you think about it, it probably makes our bones a little bit weaker rather than stronger and combating the osteoporosis that you generally heard of originally. And if you also think about farmers these days, or I guess the average American farmer, they're injecting their cows with growth hormones. And those growth hormones help produce or have that cow produce more milk. So their milk production gets up, therefore they can produce more commercially, like they make more revenue. However, having that cow produce more milk causes more inflammatory systems in the cow, which things like mastitis it will produce, which then therefore the farmer will generally give it an antibiotic as well right away. Well, that antibiotic is also, antibiotic and the hormone can be produced and passed through into the milk supply. Therefore, you are consuming not just milk itself, you're consuming the hormones and the antibiotics too. So it's not just milk anymore. Now, some of my clients have asked about what about raw or organic milk? Can you have anything like that? Well, there's two separate things. So if you're not sensitive to casein, the protein in the milk, then you can probably have organic milk because it doesn't have those growth hormones or antibiotics as well. So you can have that, and it's not introduced to that. Now, raw milk contains, if you're not lactose intolerant, you're most likely can consume raw milk because it contains a lactase enzyme. People that are lactose intolerant cannot have milk because they don't have the lactase enzyme produced to break down the milk. Raw milk contains that, so then you most likely are able to break it down, and so that's why you can have raw milk. Now, some things that that dairy products are in besides milk, cheese, butters, are other things such as breads, cookies, cereals, crackers, cakes. I mean, it is in a lot of things. The best way to find out if that item contains dairy products is to look into the ingredients list, or even a lot of times they will list it. They'll say dairy-free or something on the package itself. So if you're sensitive or want to avoid milk, that would be the best way to do that, is look for dairy-free products itself. Some substitutes for having dairy products. Some people can also do like a kefir or like a unsweetened yogurt, mainly because it's easier on the stomach because the fermentation products are broken down with the yeast and the bacteria that is used to ferment it, so that they can also contain that. Some non-dairy products that also contain calcium, which I think is probably is a way better source than dairy products or milk itself, would be things like almonds, kale, spinach, collard greens, broccoli, oranges, sesame seeds, and figs. So there's a lot of products out there that aren't dairy products that you'll get way better calcium and from other than the options for that. So again, inflammatory foods for our system. The one I'm talking about today is dairy products. Definitely look into if you're allergic to, if you're not sure how you react to dairy products yourself, cut it out. Cut it out for 30 days and just see. And then when you add it back in, even in the different forms, add it back in, see how you react. And then you'll know for sure if you get bloated, if you get that indigestion, if you get hives, skin rashes, just upset stomach or extra gas. So a way for you to find out easily on yourself. Cut it out for 30 days, add it back in, see how you feel. Pay attention to your body on what it's telling you. So that's the most important thing that I talk about with my clients all the time. Again, this is Andrew Momick with Brainerd Weight Loss and Wellness Center, and we'll see you next time.